So, hi everyone. I'm really excited to be sharing with you again this evening. And tonight I have Lyneth with me. And Lyneth is just this amazing IT teacher, and the way she integrates technology and helps her teachers to do that is just phenomenal. And tonight she's going to share with us this wonderful website which she's created called Learn Curve IT. And it's all about learning along the space and how to get teachers to learn and explore. So we're going to play with and show you Learning Curve IT. So, Lyneth, thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, no, go, say.
No, so it's nice to be here and to see you online, the marvels of technology.
It is, hey, isn't that really great? I think we live in a really amazing time in that we have access to tech and we can do these kinds of things and share, and you can be all over the space and all over the world and still be linked within the space.
And it's still me, not my AI, see?
Yes, me too. So where did the idea of Learning Curve come from? Just the name. Where did you, or why did you think of that?
Because so Learning Curve, if you noticed, are my initials.
Oh, no, that's clever.
And so when I built my website, the website for cat, it was learning a cat, and then I was like, realized, well, those are my initials, and then I was looking for something because I do a lot of training at Brescia with all the teachers, and it's really something we always talk about, being on a learning curve. And learning curve, IT being learning curve, learning created, it all fitted in, and actually it's what I feel like I'm on a learning curve. And then just the waves, it's my favorite place to be, at the sea, but it also reminds us of the curve. And you always think of a surfer riding the wave, and as teachers we need to ride the waves of technology and innovation and all the newest things. And sometimes the waves are big and sometimes there's none at all. So we're a bit like surfers in the sea of education. So yeah, so that's where it came from. It came from a long time of really wanting to create something that as South African teachers we could get a community together, that we can share our resources, share our passions for, including, and not just technology, but the way to do things differently. So
Yeah.
that's where it came from.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, if you, with pulling in your name and then pulling in what you do and your passion with school, so, and then even what you like to do on holiday. So that's really cool in terms of the whole story. If you think about the kinds of training and stuff that you've shared with your teachers, and you're speaking about that learning curve, what kind of curve are you seeing with teachers? Are you seeing teachers are enjoying playing with tech, or are you seeing sort of people not really interested? What's the uptake? I mean, I know you work also beyond school, so what are you seeing in terms of school and technology in the classroom?
So I like it. I think of it as like a journey. So we're all on this journey, and we all start in different places, and we all move forward at different rates and different paces. And that actually is not a bad thing. It doesn't make any difference. It all, part of my passions came from my son, who's now in grade 8. And when he was, so he does have the misfortune or fortune to be growing up in a house of 2 teachers who have technology. But when he was about 3, he watched a lot of YouTube, and A.B. de Villiers unpacking his cricket kit and explaining what was in it. And he thought he could make a video, and nobody actually taught to me, and he used the iPad, and what he ran into was the YouTube password, and that was when he asked for help. And if we think those are they're not even the modern children. I think of the grade R's who spent 2 years in lockdown with devices, and even preschool in on videos, and dance classes on videos. We have to be on the journey, because if we're teachers, we're passionate about the children that we teach. So it's kind of like keeping up with the kids instead of keeping up with the Joneses, understanding where they're at, and then making sure that we can harness their interest and their engagement and use it to teach them, to make them learn. Incidental learning is probably the best kind of learning there is.
That's true. I mean, I think as teachers, when did you say with your son, my children were in an era before that, so they were into Mix It and things. And so they were learning about when they wanted to play within Mix It, then I learned how to use it, because I thought, no, I need to know what's happening here before they start playing in this space. And the same when Facebook became new and the children were exploring it. It was like, okay, so what's this thing? And I suppose that's exactly what we should say to parents, is that if your children are playing in the tech, you need to be playing in the tech too, so that you know what your children are playing in, that it's not just there for the sake of your children to use, but you need to know what your children are getting into. What do you think about that?
So we have if the Brescia teachers are listening, I talk about it all the time, about we got to learn to model it. We got to learn to model the failure, but also the success. That doesn't mean that you also have to be the expert. I've taught computer studies, computer IT, and coding and that for a very long time. And when I first taught, I used to tell kids I taught, you know more than me in some places, and I know more than you. So together we will all learn. So when you go back to the teachers that they embrace it. I think a lot of them underestimate how good they are at it. And Marie did my master's. Well, I'm finishing my master's, but she was on my group with me. So hello, and how are you? And yes, that we have to embrace what they're doing, but we don't have to be scared to be the experts. We can let them teach us or investigate, as long as we're there to guide them and to help them along the way. And that's why I also think that digital citizenship is so important, and not only for how we teach them to be, but how we are online as ourselves in our presence, so that we can show them how it's done, but also learn from them.
Yeah, I think that's very true. So if we now hop into your learning curve, what are the things that you think are examples that teachers could be sharing? So you spoke about some of the hacks. Do you want to talk about
let me go there, because I'm very proud of the hacks and the teachers at Brescia.
Can I share the screen?
You can share the screen.
Cool.
So under the resources, under teacher hack, so at Brescia we spend a lot of time, of teachers' precious time, working on the Microsoft Innovative Educator and Apple Teacher and those kind of recognitions and learnings. And actually in lockdown, we started this idea of that we all have something to share. So we decided to create little hack videos. So on this page is this year's hacks from the teachers in my school. And for example, the very first one, which is the one that I got yesterday and loaded this morning, it's even taught me something. I've never added a table by using pluses and minuses into a Word document. So we encourage everybody to make a little video, short video of things that they do in their classroom, or to help them make notes, to keep themselves organized, and to make the video, and then we share it. So last year we shared it internally only, and then this year I created the website so that we could share with the others. For example, Shirley, who I hope is listening, she's a great art teacher, and I mean, her hack is amazing. It's just the shortcut key to lock your computer as you walk away, and she explains why it's important. And there's quite a few made by other foundation phase teachers, to the Karen, who's our science teacher, to how. So I'm hoping that other teachers will also join us to create short hacks of what they do in class, things that makes it easier for them to do the things that they do every day, because we always can learn from each other. We can find out, and these are all created by South African teachers with how they do everything each day, and they cover all sorts of topics. And at the very bottom of the page, there is a way for a person to put in their name and email address and send me a link of their public video, and then I can load it on the page. And then hopefully we can curate a whole lot of shorts. And if you watch the videos, some teachers record them on their cell phone, some record them in Loom, some make PowerPoints with voiceovers, some don't put voiceovers and just explain it. And then I saw another one. Hello, Dominique. A person I know who's also very creative down there in the Cape by you, Karen. So if we can get all those people that are have these amazing ideas and the things that they do in class, they can share. So the hack page is really for things that they do to help boost their productivity in class. And then I also have a resources collection of collections that South African teachers, so Heidi's also from the Cape down by you, Karen, and she's created a beautiful Google site with ChatGPT. And then Carl works with me at Brescia, and he's created some amazing wakelets that he gives his children when they're doing the different literacies and books with all their resources. And then there were a couple that I've used with digital breakouts and wakelets. So it's really about, and then I also know, because we belong to a couple of WhatsApp groups where people are always asking, who can we chat to, what tools can we get. So there's a section for apps and tools, and a section for service providers of South African companies that provide from support to training to software. So I'm just trying to make one stop, and each one of them has a place at the bottom to submit the information so that I can post it on the website. And then we also have a section for events, because I don't know about you, I read Facebook and Twitter and belong to Facebook groups and have WhatsApp groups, and I always find all the information's all over the place. And I was trying to create a one-stop. Okay, if somehow we put it all together, at least if you can go there, whether it's a paid for course, and there's yours at the bottom. I keep trying to move the scroll bar on the actual broadcast, that people can find it and choose to participate or register, because it would be nice if we can all. And then the best part, and Sean posted one today, which I don't think anybody has answered any questions. There's a forum where to pose questions, thoughts, ask questions in the different categories. And today, Sean put the first one all about the promise of AI, to talk about how teachers, we can leverage AI in our classrooms. And talking to South African teachers in our South African classes, which have from lots of resources to not many resources, to all sorts of challenges. What can we do and to include it in our syllabus and curriculums in schools, and prepare the children we teach for the world of work that they will go into.
Yeah, and I think just the range of things you've thought about and put in here is just so useful in terms of how you can actually be navigating and getting all the things within the space. So I think that's really nice in terms of the thought you've put into how you've presented it.
And look, I'm open to suggestions, to people to write. And then the last part was, and it is just me, but I'm hoping that more teachers will contribute to it, is to write the stories of the things that we've done in our classroom. So, that they participated, my grade 9s, in the AI for Good hackathon.
Nice.
And then it points teachers to where to find it for next year. We've done a game jam with Make Code, and I share the PowerPoints. This week, my grade 7s are doing the Minecraft privacy prodigy world, which is all about digital citizenship and its challenges they have to complete and race against the clock. So just to give people ideas of what they can do that have worked and what could make it better in their classrooms. So I'm hoping more people will also volunteer to write the stories of the things that's happening, because there are really lots of very special things happening in classrooms across South Africa.
True.
And there's lots of very passionate and dynamic teachers, lots in my own school, that are doing amazing things, and they don't think they're amazing, but actually they're very amazing,
That's very
the teachers
true.
just think it's what they do every day, but we all have lots to share and to learn from each other.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think we don't speak teaching up enough. And I think just by getting people to share and for other people to read them and realize, oh, I do something similar, or, oh, I could share this idea, we start actually seeing the positive side of teaching and not just always the negative side, which I think is also really important. So I think there are lots of wonderful sort of spin-offs that you could get from this website.
And we spend a lot of the middle term working on our Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts, but this is a shout out to all the teachers watching. You too can apply to be one. Next week on Wednesday, Carl and I are having an online chat at 7:00 on how to do it, and we'll help anybody who joins the meeting
nice.
to how to fill in the form. But it really is a form of 6 or 7 longer questions. Yes, you have to do these badges on Learn platform, but that just gives us another place to share and learn, and some other topics. I do know that Apple, and we do in our foundation phase have Apple teachers who've done all the courses. So I will post the information. Apple, for those who do Apple, have now changed their instead of their annual competition, it's going to monthly, and they're challenging people to do things for Mandela Day.
Nice.
Tanks Coding are challenging people for... Hello,
Yeah.
Robin. She's one of the amazing foundation phase teachers who makes, and she's got a hack on the teacher hack on the website.
Ah, nice.
that
So we can go and
people
look
can go
for
and
your
look
hack,
at.
Robin.
Yes. And so they can do the Apple Teacher Now monthly. This July month is the challenge for Mandela Day. Tanks is challenging, they want 1,000 children, I think it is, to play Tanks Coding on Mandela Day in July, 18th of July. So those are all things that I've found from different places in the last week. So the idea was to kind of share it all in one place, but I'm hoping more people will join and share and contribute to the forum and the stories of South African schools and classrooms.
Oh. So hi, Anne, nice to see you. Thanks for the compliment for Lyneth. She is sharing, it is incredible. So yeah, it's good to see
She's
you.
my parking buddy. And also worked at Pressure and did amazing things in her science classroom with girls with laptops and OneNote and assessing online. And so, yes, so there are lots of amazing things by our wonderful teachers in South Africa, especially at Pressure. I'll add that. Lots of Pressure teachers watching. So, yes, but I know quite a few teachers from all over the country, from Natal to the Cape by you and Joburg and Pretoria and Midrand in between. There are people that are doing things that we can all learn from each other and try in our classroom and make them better.
That's true. And it is just trying. It's like just take one day at a time and play within that space and just have fun. I think it's just saying, how do we have fun in our classrooms? How do we use the tech and not see it as a threat, but just explore and see the reactions you get from the children when you start using these amazing things.
And that's the best part. This week when the grade 7s have been playing Minecraft and they're still learning about digital citizenship, for some kids that they really enjoyed that. But the last lessons we participated in a flip global exchange where they made little videos. And some of my girls' videos, you would think that they were professional photographers and videographers because they've recorded cooking, their cultural dishes, and they've got step by step on how to make these meals in their houses.
Lovely.
And they're all in grade 7. So if that's what they do in grade 7 with mixing, I saw one in PowerPoint today actually that she's got animation. So she didn't video it, but the actual things move in the presentation. I don't know if she did it on Canva or PowerPoint, but the actual little items. So like the flour bag flies to the bowl, and
that is so lovely.
It's amazing. And I think where she might be in 5 years' time, I can't even think about what kind of courses they'll do at university, because they're going to have to, the university's going to have to keep up with the children too. But if she can do that in grade 7, the sky's the limit.
Exactly. That is so true in terms of how we can actually engage and get the children to be exploring these different things really well. I think it's sparking the interest and then letting them just fly, I think is what you're doing when you introduce the children to the technologies or ask them to create things.
And I mean, it's not only about technology. I'm going to use the foundation phases story. All those teachers are listening. When they were doing the Titanic, they paced it out on the field so that they had some idea of the size and the scale of what that ship was. So it's the right tool for the job, and sometimes the right tool is the paper helicopters that come off the second floor, and it's sharing those ideas that are beyond just a textbook and a worksheet in the classroom. Sharing the ideas of what we've tried and why we've used that. Our foundation phase teachers are very good at all the apps that they've found for teaching the different topics and stories, like the gingerbread man and the pizza fractions. So, and they all teach coding and have B-bots, and they just teachers, everyday teachers like you and me.
And,
well, they'll say not like you and me because we taught technology and IT, but yeah, so.
But I also think we shouldn't say just teachers. I think we should stop people saying we just teachers. Because if you think of the role as just teachers, if your foundation phase teachers aren't teaching their children properly, those children never learn to read or write properly. And the ones that teach well, think of as an adult the teachers that impacted your life positively. And there's just so many that do along the way. And so we should say to teachers, talk your job up. It does have, we have such an impact on the children we work with and we engage with in the classroom. And I think it's how we actually celebrate that more often. I think we should really do.
Yes, celebrate their amazingness, but also the impact they have on their colleagues, and the sharing certainly that happens in our school with how we do things, to make it more engaging for the girls that we teach in our school. They are all girls, but yes, we need to celebrate that we are South African teachers and we do things our way.
Yeah.
And we cope with the most amazing things that come our way, and we just take it in our stride, like no water and no electricity. And we're lucky enough to have a generator at school, but there are teachers that have to work around that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very true. So if we talk about your website again, is there anything specific you want to share as we start finishing off?
So really, it's an invitation for all South African teachers to get on board, to share any small, big, large thing, whether it's a story, whether it's a resource that they created or use, whether they make a little video or a PowerPoint or a wakelet, whether they have an idea of a collaboration project to work together, whether it's some event or workshop that they are hosting or know about, to share, so we can all grow together to contribute to the forum, whether you want to ask a quick question, whether you want to have a long debate, but at the same time we can go back and find and search the answers that we've spoken about, and also to encourage people to enter things like the Microsoft Innovative Educator and Apple Teachers, so that we can all work together, and we can see that actually there are amazing things happening in the classrooms across South Africa. So we found somebody I don't know.
So Hanson, thank you for your comment. I really do think it's saying how we can actually get all teachers involved. So thanks for sharing this evening. That's really great. Yeah, so thank you.
So, and even if the person doesn't want to particularly comment, you can read, you can visit and share it with other teachers that you know in your school, in your clusters, in the groups that you meet, your teacher friends. Let's share the things we know so we can change South African education, even in a little bit. It's like pebbles and ripples in the pond. Each of us makes a ripple. We actually don't know how far we can get and what it'll change for somebody somewhere.
That's very true. That's very true. So, Lyneth, I'm just thinking in terms of learning curve, and how you've shared it this evening. It's really a fantastic website, and I hope that it grows and we get lots of people filling it with lots of different things. So you've spoken about wakelets and maybe flips and things like that. Can people share links with you for any type of web-based type resource, or are you restricting it to certain ones?
No. So anything, it's just that's what I have so far. And the only thing is I've asked for a public link because it's just much easier
Yeah, obviously.
than
Yes.
up and down. So even if it's in their OneDrive or Google Drive and they've shared a PDF, any kind of link, basically the hack page is just videos, but those cover looms or things that I've turned into a video like a PowerPoint and put it into YouTube. They are unlisted, so they won't be found if they Google searched. You'd
Okay.
have to look for them in here. So it doesn't matter even if it is a physical video, I'll put it on a streaming platform just because it's easier to watch. Then the resource collection, as Carl and I basically had wakelets, and then Heidi had this Google website, but it can be anything. It can be PDFs, it can be worksheets, it can be PowerPoints. If the person doesn't have an actual place to share an online document, they can always get in touch with me and then say, I'll send you a PDF, but please put it, because they don't have a Google Drive or a OneDrive. We can add any resource. I was just, in fact, when we talked about it on Tuesday night and today when I was thinking about it, I'm trying to separate out the South African things that are created by South African teachers, but that doesn't mean we don't want, if we have useful international resources. I was thinking of this morning making a page with international links to international resources, because they're also teachers and some days they do exactly the same things as we do in the same platforms. But just so that we could celebrate South African teachers. So people are welcome to send me any kind of resource that they would like to share that could be useful to another teacher.
Yeah, thanks, Anne. That's cool. But that's really nice, Lyneth, in that everyone can actually share. And so they would just hop into the bottom of the page, click on the
bottom of each of the pages has a hack and a link and a URL place and a title, just because it helps me when I post them up. And each one has, so even if the person posts it, I want to say on a wrong page, as in I might move it to a different section, but all of them end up in my email with basically a link and a description and a title, including the ones for the events and workshops. There is the same at the very bottom.
Great, thank you. So as we finish off, what would you like to say to people in terms of their own learning curves? So how would you like to end the chat?
I think that they are all amazing, the ones who are on this call and ones who are not, and that you need to celebrate yourself and be back yourself and know that you're amazing, and the things that you create, other people will be inspired to create based on what they've seen you do. So share, get involved in whatever small, big way you can, even if it is just share with your colleague and not use the website. Share, because together we can change things. You know, it takes a village to grow a child, and as Mandela says, the education is the best weapon to change the world. So
that's very, very true.
Let's use our own learning curve to help other people's learning curves.
Yeah, so yes, Hanson, the platform's open. So if you just hop onto it, so if you go to www.learningcurve-it.net, just like you can see on the scroll bar, hop into the website and you can go and have a look and play. So
it
yes,
is built on
open.
Wix, so it's not a Google site. It's actually a Wix website. Because
but it's open. It's not a closed website. It's an open website.
Well, yes, you just have to register to participate in the forum section. Everything else is there's no. So if you're not a member and you go to the forum, it will just ask you to register with an account.
Cool. So Tanya says thanks very much for the message.
She's
so
another person who has a hack.
Cool.
Yes.
So we'll go and look for all these hacks. So I just want to say thank you. I do agree completely in terms of let's celebrate the teachers. Let's share what we do so that people can see the things that are happening inside our classrooms and give as many different ideas to each other. So thank you for your time tonight, Lyneth. Thank you for sharing your website and for your time this evening. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end the call. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.